welcome to Technically Torah. I am Heath Hayes, and yeah, it's been a little bit. I finally have an idea for Revelation chapter 6 video, and it's like it just clicked on me the other day, so be looking for that to come out. Seems like every video that I do lately, it's like I'm apologizing, saying please forgive me, I'm so sorry. We've just had so much on our plates and everything, but it seems like things are starting to pan out and level out. Not necessarily financially. Developed a pretty significant exhaust leak from the exhaust manifold on my truck. Actually, exhaust manifolds, it's leaking from both sides, and I don't necessarily, I'm not 100% sure that it is fully cracked, because cracked manifolds can be hard to detect, or at least spot the crack. But I'm quite confident that especially my passenger side manifold is cracked, and I may have a gasket leak on the driver's side. But either way, sorry about that. Neighbor is riding his dirt bike around, so that's cool. Anyways, I've got, oh, and my front differential on my truck for the four-wheel drive, it's slipping, so I've got to change out the fluid for that. Maybe throw in some non-slip additive or something like that. I have a leak on my oil pan gasket, and just for preventative maintenance, I'm going to go ahead and change out the valve cover gaskets all on my truck. So I've got a lot of work that needs to be done. Biggest cost is the headers, because supply chain issues and such. And there's actually a testimony to this, because it's really cool. I've not done the work yet. I've not received the headers yet, but very recently, supply chain issues, just kind of going back to that real quick, has made it really hard to find OEM manifolds and or even aftermarket exhaust headers for my truck. And I don't need long headers or anything like that. I'm not really looking for power. I just want my truck to run and operate the way it should, because I've really experienced a lot of diminished power, and I can't even go in reverse without hearing it's pretty annoying, to say the least. So if you guys know what an exhaust manifold sounds like, you know what I'm talking about. So yeah, with all of that said, I finally found a website that actually has headers specifically for my truck that are direct bolt-on replacements for a relatively reasonable price. They're still expensive, but at this day and age, it is what it is, right? So with all of that said, I reached out to some brothers, and I was like, hey man, or actually guys, because I had reached out to several guys, asking for help. I was like, hey, this is what I can budget right now, but I would be happy to pay a certain amount of money over the course of the next few weeks to pay back the rest of the cost for these headers. I need my truck. With the women's retreat coming up, and then with kind of envy that. It's been a while since I've been on a bike, but anyways, I reached out to some brothers and said I'm perfectly willing to pay back the money, but would anybody be able to help me purchase these headers before they go out of stock, or anything like that? And a few brothers were like, yeah, I'll give you the whole cost. And one of the other brothers, he was like, well, do you have a PayPal? And then before anybody could actually give me money, another brother swooped in after I posted my wife's PayPal, because she does all of that stuff, and I don't. She's like the money trading guru for my family, right? So with all of that said, another brother swooped in and was like, "Too late, guys. I already took care of it," and sent me the full amount of money, actually plus some for what I needed, uh, and just really blessed our socks off. And I have worked something out with the brother to pay him back fully. Um, but my goodness, it's got to tell you guys, it's so nice to have, first of all, praise Yah, right? You know, to for him to orchestrate things in such a way to allow me to have my family in this type of position with people around me whom uh, genuinely care for your well-being, right? And just want to help out in more ways than just one. They're like almost arguing over like who's going to help the most, or who's going to uh, be the biggest blessing, or whatever the case may be, right? So it's really cool, and we've been super blessed just by having the opportunity and ability to be here uh, with people. Scripture talks about, and I've said it a lot before. I don't I don't recall ever saying it on here, but there's something to be said about having friends that stick closer than brothers. Like we all here, we wear these things. They're called seats, right? And you know, all the men around me in my life are high quality men who wear seats and are seeking the Father on a daily basis and seeing the blessing of that in their lives. And they're actively seeing fruit of seeking the Father in their families and such. So it's absolutely wonderful getting to be a part of all of that and see fruit in other people's lives, and actually being able to be a recipient of their blessing. Um, and I hope one day to be able to reciprocate that very blessing that was bestowed on me, in just you know, maybe a short form or fashion for somebody else, but absolutely huge for me, because my truck being down, it legitimately affects my livelihood. Um, so, in more ways than one. Um, so yeah, guys, if you don't have tribe, if you don't have, you know, friends that stick closer than brothers, and I call it gladly and genuinely call each and every one of these men my brother, uh, which is something really awesome. Kind of a little side note here. I have 6 sisters, or maybe you don't know that, but I have 6 sisters, and I have always desired to have brothers. And, they're learning me, I'm learning them, and gotta say, there is an absolute, provided by Yah, genuine love between us men that, it's it's something I've never legitimately experienced before, and it's something that I am very, very thankful for, and I would guard with tenacity. If you ever have that, or find that, or if you have that currently, protect it, because that is so invaluable. Like that's the type of uh, love and relationship that you just can't replace overnight. So yeah, uh, yeah, he's been working. He's really blessed us and been doing some things. Um, Lauren and I are really, really hoping to finally be established on the other side of the property pretty soon. We actually went over there and took a look at it and decided that it would be a better location and more appropriate and more convenient actually for the landowners if we move the power pole, because it hasn't been installed yet, and now is like, since making changes, now is the time, right? So moving the power pole from where they were originally going to enter into the property, one pole down, it's just going to be more convenient in the long run for everybody involved in this, especially the property owners. So that's nice. It's going to be really good for us as well. So yeah, there's a lot that's going on, a lot that hasn't happened yet, and a lot of things that we kind of have in the works. As we go, also be on the lookout for some videos when I finally get to work on my truck. I'm actually, it drives and runs fine. It does have diminished power because of the exhaust leak and everything, and not enough back pressure, blah blah blah. There's a lot to that, but it still drives and runs fine. It's just I don't want to perpetuate further damage. So yeah, with that said, I'm just gonna call this one and leave you guys and say shalom. Also, like I said before, be on the lookout for the Revelation 6 video. I apologize for taking so long. If you're interested, be on the lookout. Like, go check out my Patreon channel. That directly helps me support my family. That's the whole purpose of my Patreon, is to eventually allow me to, in some way, shape, form, or fashion, I still plan on having my own businesses, such as, establishing a CNC company, being able to manufacture parts myself, doing different things as far as that's concerned, but also being able to, one desire that I have is being able to actually step away from everything at a moment's notice and go deploy with Grindstone Ministries to a tornado alley, tornado hit, or whatever the case may be, or go help anybody, or if the Father, if Yah just says, hey, you need to go over there, you need to be in Utah by 3 p.m. tomorrow, make it happen, and I can pick up and go, whatever the case may be, right? And hopefully, living meagerly, well beneath my means, and it's just going to help me support my family as we endeavor to do the things that we desire to do, and hopefully the things that the Father wants us to do as well. So with that said, bless you guys. Shalom.